I'll get someone to ask. I'll call my wife. It's okay. Take some plates underneath.
We need more curd and everything.
क्या चाहिए? दही दही put out that fire.
आप दोनों
और है क्या?
రాజగోపాల్ సార్. అలాగే రెండు पानी चाहिए पानी 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 वो
Hare Rama
You have to send it down. साफ करना है थोड़ा निकालना पड़ेगा
Can you bring Baba?
Can you call Hari, please, the next
दोनों किस तरफ बैठेंगे इस तरफ आप उधर बैठेंगे
आप किधर बिठाना है?
इधर तो ऐसा आप इस तरफ बैठो
इधर से हो गया।
I'll go there.
Okay.
Done, he's done. Now you will I'll go anyway.
This is farm?
East is this. Yes. East is this. North. This is north.
So you and it's like
No, the north Prabhu. East. Path Prabhu and man, look at me.
కొంచెం వెనక్కి జరుగుతారా మీరు?
Let's just start.
ప్రభు కొంచెం వెనక్కి జరగరా? కొంచెం వెనక్కి అదిగోనండి.
ఏమండి కెమెరా వస్తున్నట్టు? No, sit and listen.
పరమ
Uncle ji, पकड़ के रखो. Put a hand on it.
వీడియో ఇస్ కమింగ్ అన్నారు. చెక్ చేయలేదు సార్.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
ప్రభు ప్రభుజీ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ లైవ్. రిఫ్రెష్ చేయండి. అది లైవ్. ఒకసారి ఓకే బ్రో గుడ్.
इसको खेलने की सीखिए. You are assistant brahmachari. Brahmachari यहाँ पर आओ. Media encoder lo, can you put this in one window and then other window should be database?
చెప్పు ఎన్కోడర్.
Media encoder. I want experiment. Let me
Oh, I understand now. You can do that. You can do that. Practice the log receipt. It's a memory. आपको
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Smoker, they took it out. Oh, they didn't take it out. प्रभु प्रभु जी थोड़ा रख दो वो स्मोक वाला वेरी तो वेरी see check I don't know go ahead and you do that sorry that cover something with the smoke alarm. No you cannot remove take it up you have temple.
So today we're going to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 44. It's from the history of the sacrifice performed by Daksha. And this is a conversation that's going on.
That's okay. So.
This is a conversation that's going on. And previously the Gandharvas have spoken and the different devas are speaking, and now the Vidyadharas are speaking, and they say, they address they're addressing Lord Vishnu. They say, Dear Lord, this human form of body is meant for attaining the highest perfectional objective. But, impelled by your external energy, the living entity misidentifies himself with his body and with the material energy. And therefore, influenced by Maya, he wants to become happy by material enjoyment. He is misled and always attracted by temporary, illusory happiness. But your transcendental activities are so powerful that if one engages in the hearing and chanting of such topics, he can be delivered from illusion. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The human form of life is called Artada, because the body can very nicely help the embodied soul to achieve the highest perfection. Prahlad Maharaj said that even though temporary, the body can give us the highest perfectional achievement. In the process of evolution from the lower to the higher grade of living, the human form of life is a great boon. But Maya is so strong that in spite of achieving this great boon of the human form of life, we are influenced by temporary material happiness and we forget our goal of life. We are attracted by things which will cease to exist. The beginning of such attraction is the temporary body. In this horrible condition of life, there is only one way of liberation: to engage in the activities of transcendental chanting and hearing of the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The words Yusmat Katamrita Nisevakaha mean those who engage in relishing the nectar of the topics of your Lordship. There are two narrative books which especially concern the words and activities of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is the instruction given by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the book containing topics exclusively about Krishna and his devotees. These two books are the special nectar of the words of Krishna. For those who engage in the preaching of these two Vedic literatures, it is very easy to get out of the illusory, conditional life imposed upon us by Maya. The illusion is that the conditioned soul does not try to understand his spiritual identity. He is more interested in his external body, which is only a flash, and which will be finished as soon as the time is designated. The whole atmosphere will change when the living entity has to transmigrate from one body to another. Under the spell of Maya, he will again be satisfied in a different atmosphere. This spell of Maya is called avaranatmika shakti, because it is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in any abominable condition. Even if he is born as a worm, living within the intestine or abdomen, in the midst of urine and stool, he is still satisfied. This is the covering influence of Maya, but the human form of life is a chance to understand. And if one misses this opportunity, he is most unfortunate. The way to get out of illusory Maya is to engage in the topics of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya advocated a process whereby everyone may remain in his present position without change, but simply hear from the proper authoritative sources about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya advised everyone to spread the word of Krishna. He advised, all of you become spiritual masters. Your duty is simply to talk to whomever you meet of Krishna or of the instructions given by Krishna. Yare Dikitare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. Amara Agay Etara Guru Hai Paradesh. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. All of you become spiritual masters. Your duty is simply to talk to whomever you meet of Krishna or of the instructions given by Krishna. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is operating for this purpose. We do not ask anyone to first change his position and then come to us. Instead, we invite everyone to come with us and simply chant Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Because we know that if one simply chants and hears the topics of Krishna, one's life will change. He will see a new light, and his life will be successful. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Vidyadhara said, Dear Lord, this human form of body is meant for attaining the highest perfectional objective. But impelled by your external energy, the living entity misidentifies himself with his body and with the material energy, and therefore, influenced by Maya, he wants to become happy by material enjoyment. He is misled and always attracted by temporary, illusory happiness, but your transcendental activities are so powerful that if one engages in the hearing and chanting of such topics, he can be delivered from illusion. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Maya has two actions, Prasaktatmika and Avaranatmika. Two actions. So the first action is to throw us away from Krishna. And the second action is to cover us. So this throwing and covering is going on all the time. We see it in our own life, in our own experience. So the Daiva Maya, or the illusory energy of Krishna, takes away our knowledge. And this is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Maya pita jnana asram bhavam asrita. Those people are highly educated but bewildered by their complicated knowledge. And most of it is materialistic knowledge. So they can't give a straight answer. Just like one time, one person asked the scientist, "Can you show me your nose?" He said, "Yes." Here. Now, why didn't he just go like that? Because that's their games. They go just like this. It's too easy. They do the same thing. They write a long book, just like this man, Dr. Jacques Monod, the French scientist and so-called philosopher. Not a philosopher, philosopher. So he wrote a book. He said, "La chance et la nécessité," means chance and necessity. And the whole thesis of that book was to prove that there's no God. Everything happened by accident. So when this was presented to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, yes, everything, he proves in his book, everything happens by accident except his book. That didn't happen by accident. That's why he wrote his name on the book, Jacques Monod, author of this book. Why doesn't he say this book happened by accident also? He's trying to prove in the book everything happens by accident. You see? It's all nonsense. But the nonsense is covered over with big language. So you don't understand one way, so oh, yeah, it must be the truth. I didn't understand anything. So this is what we call Presaktaku. It's something that looks attractive. This attractive feature of Maya is very powerful. I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen in Africa these people that have these big lips? They have like a dish in a lip. You've seen that, right? Now, you have a man and a woman. They both have these big dishes in their lips. You've seen what I'm talking about, right?
I've seen, like in US, my teammate, she has
No. That's not it. That's not it. No, in Africa, they have these people that purposely put a dish and they force their lips out. And it's like, it looks like a duck. You've seen a duck, you know. A duck has a bill, and they have all these things stuck in their ears and their nose, and it expands their facial features. So one time there was a picture of two of these people looking at each other, a man and a woman. The man has his big lips, like that, and got big ears. They make their appendages like inflated. It's supposed to be a mark of beauty in Africa. And they had a little caption. The man was saying to the woman, "I ain't never seen anyone so beautiful as you." You understand? He said, "I ain't never seen anyone as beautiful as you." So they're looking at each other. I mean, they're both ugly. And they're saying, "I've never seen anyone as beautiful as you." So this is Maya's energy. Now, they think they're both beautiful. Right? Then next, they're living in squalor. You know what the word means, squalor. They eat bugs, they eat lizards, they drink blood. Right? And they think that this is the ultimate happiness in life, their style of life. You see these two energies. One is they're attracted to each other, even though they're both ugly. Secondly, they think their particular situation in that place, eating bugs and lizards and snakes and spiders, they think that's the ultimate happiness in life. Is that possible? You see, this is This is the two energies. First one is thrown away from Krishna due to attraction to something that's actually not beautiful, it's ugly. And then secondly, they get covered over to think that this is the ultimate happiness. So, these two powers of Maya end up putting someone in karma band. They're tied up in a hopeless knot. Just like one time, there was a man. He was captured by a monster. You know what a monster is, right? And he captured him. And the man was, I mean, if you were captured by a monster, how would you feel? Frightened. Like this. And the monster took him to this palace and took him into the dungeon. And put him in the dungeon and locked the door. And the door was this thick. Big, thick door. And once a day, the monster would come down the steps of the dungeon, and you can hear the first door open at the top of the step. And then he'd hear the steps. And then when you get next to the door of his cell, you go. That was a signal that come and get your food. The guy would come like this, he'd be shaking, you know. And the monster would open the door. There was a rusty old door, big, thick thing. And he'd look at the man, and the man would almost faint of horror. And he'd put it down on the ground. And you go, like that. It's like these people, you see them, the punks. They can't even speak, they take so much drugs, they go, like that. Sometimes they become singers, and they sing rap music. So, then he'd slam the door shut, and the guy would be frightened. Every day was frightened. One day he decided, I don't care what happens. I'm going to fight my way out of it. And if he kills me, let him kill me. Death is better than this type of life. So that day he decided he was going to fight with the monster. The monster was like 7 feet tall. He looked like, what's the name of that guy? Huh? Schwarzenegger is nothing. He looks like an angel. No, Sachchat. You ever hear Sachchat? Sasquatch. Yeah. He's a monster that lives in the northwest. He's in the forest. Every once in a while people see Bigfoot. Sasquatch. He's a monster. His feet are this big. People see sometimes. This guy was big. Right? So, that day he opened the first door. Came down the steps. And he went, that was his, I'm here. And then he opened the door. And he had the plate like that. He was looking at the guy. He had a big, ugly face. The guy came right up to him, the man came, okay, come on. I'm going to kill you. Oh, you killed me. I don't care. I want to fight with you now. And the monster, he put down his plate. And the man came up to him and said, I'm going to fight you now. Come on. The monster just went, so they were like this, you know how their bodies are tense for a fight. And the man said, come on, hit me, do something. They were like inching this way, that way. Finally, they were inching a little bit and threatening each other. All of a sudden, the man was on the outside, the monster was on the inside. Very interesting. The guy thought he would have been dead by now. And they just kept threatening each other. Then he noticed he's on the outside, the monster's on the inside. And so he said, let me close the door. So he slammed the door shut, and he locked it. And the monster said, to you, huh? So now he had to get out of the palace. And the palace has plenty of guards. There were guards everywhere. But he said, what kind of life is this? Better I die than stay in this place. I don't care. So he was ready to fight to the death. So he goes up the stairs, opens the door, and there's a guard right there looking right at him. Who are you? He said, who am I? Who are you? Why are you in? Why are you in? He just walked past him. The guy didn't do anything. The soldier. Then he went, there were like 40 soldiers there. They all had arms. And he stood there, and they were looking at him. And they sort of walked around him. They were all on every side. So he went like that, again, like with the monster, he was going like this. Come on, hit me, do something. Do something. They were all looking at him. And all of a sudden, he walked past them. Just walked past them. Now he had to get through the gate. The gate, there were a whole bunch of other soldiers. So he just walks out, I don't care, let them kill me. You know, they had arrows, they had clubs, they had everything. He walks up to the gate, everyone's looking at him and they're threatening him. He just walks through the gate and walks out. Then he realized he was in jail because he was afraid. But in reality, there was nothing for him to be afraid of. It was all like an illusion. He was in his own jail in his mind. And he walked away and he realized he was a free man the whole time. But because of this misconception of fear, therefore, when a devotee hears about Krishna and chants Hare Krishna, he goes from being Bhayam to Abhayam. So when you're Bhayam, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Oh, the stock market went down. Oh, my stocks, my 401k, and my job, and the value of my house. And the doctor said I have high BP and high cholesterol. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? All this Bhayam. Why is it Bhayam? Because we're attached to the body. There's always something wrong with the body. A toothache, an earache, an eye infection, a cold, a cough. There's always something wrong, and we're always getting worried. But if we attach to the soul and the relationship of our soul with Krishna, then there's nothing to worry about. Because Krishna will take care of you. He says so. He says that he'll take care of his devotees. So why should we worry? We worry because we don't have any knowledge of Krishna. We just have knowledge of material science and economics and archaeology and sociology, all these ologies. Therefore we're in anxiety. So, one time a man was walking down the street and he saw a pile of stool. And he saw a worm in the stool. He said, oh my God, my poor brother is suffering. So I carefully picked the worm out of the stool and put it in the green grass where it was nice and clean. And he said, now brother, please enjoy it. You know what the worm did? It went right back to the stool. Now, that's hard to imagine. Why would it go back to the stool when it was put in a nice place? Because the worm is conditioned to eat stool. Now, we can be like that too. Like, when I was a boy, I was conditioned to eat stool. Every day, my mother would make for me meat 3-4 times a day. If there was not meat on the plate, I would cry, Mommy, you're trying to starve me. I didn't know. That was my own mother's feeding me. But what is meat? It's a piece of stool. It's something dead. Would you pick up something dead and eat it? If you found a dead rat, would you eat? Would you eat? Let's say you found a dead rabbit. Would you eat the dead rabbit? No. Would you eat, what kind of dead thing would you eat? No, you wouldn't eat anything dead, right? So what?
Chinese didn't eat any dead.
Chinese? No, don't say that. Maybe there's someone Chinese. You know, Chinese have jokes about Indians too. So why would anyone want to eat something dead? People are usually afraid of dead things. Like yesterday we saw a dead body, right? Would you eat that man? No, he said, well, I don't want anything to do. I don't want to touch him. Nobody eats him who wants to touch him. Right? Even though he's Pitaji. Pitaji's there dead, but no, everyone was afraid.
Yeah, they go away.
There was,
Only we were there together.
only we were close to it. Everyone else was standing away. They were afraid. Even though that's Pitaji. They loved him, right? But they didn't want to touch him. So, this is the problem. If you see the dead thing packaged nicely, you want to eat it. Just like chocolate ants. This is a delicacy in America. Now, if I give you an ant, you say, no, I don't want to eat that. But if I give you a chocolate ant, you know, oh, this is a delicacy. Just like there was, you always hear on the news about some new medicine that cures all sicknesses. So there was one advertisement, new from Mongolia, miracle drug, heals cholesterol, cardiac problems, diabetes, cancer, and there's a long list of things that it heals. So I was interested in this guy, in that industry. So I called someone up and said, what is this thing? He said, oh, it's very special, it's wonderful. I said, wonderful, what is it exactly? He said, it's rat stool from Mongolia. I said, rat stool? I said, yeah. So we have rats here, we have rat stool here. No, it's not the same thing. I said, what do you mean it's not the same thing? It's rat stool from Mongolia and 6,000 feet up in the mountain. I said, I can put a rat 6,000 feet up on a mountain right here. I said, no, it's not the same. I said, okay, give me a bomb. You guys, it's special. Rat stool from Mongolia at 6,000 feet altitude. So that's different than rat stool here in Washington. But actually there's no difference. It's just propaganda. It's just PR. You make enough PR, people know, let me get one too. This is the danger of advertising. Now, why do people advertise things? Because it's something you don't want. You don't really want it. Right? You're happy living a simple life. But when they advertise it, you feel, I got to get there to be happy. That's Maya's energy. That's Maya's working like this. Prasad. It's when you become attracted to something for sense gratification that takes you away from Krishna. Then when you actually engage in the sense gratification, you get covered over, you think this is the greatest happiness in the world. Just like young kids. Let's take an example. Let's say a young boy or girl are going to school, and then their friends at school would say, we're going to have a sleepover tonight. Ask your mom and dad if you can stay. So really, what are you going to do? We're going to drink beer. Okay, I'll ask you. So they get permission for the sleepover. Now, the sleepover, the parents of the sleepover kid, they're going out that night. So the kids are home alone. You don't know that. You don't know your kid is alone. And what are the kids going to do? They're going to drink beer. Would you let your boys drink beer in your house? No. But if they're alone somewhere else, I don't think they would, but if they're alone somewhere else and other people are all drinking beer, they might drink beer also. Now, why would you drink beer? Because someone tells you it's good. It's cool. Now, is beer actually good? No, it smells like urine, frankly speaking. The first time I tasted it, it tasted like urine. I was thinking, what's so great about this? If you drink it hot, warm, it tastes exactly like urine. No different. But yet, when you make it cold, it tastes a little better. Even urine, if you make it cold, it will taste better. You see? Now, this is the problem. We are being tricked all the time. And the trick is promise of better sense gratification. That's the truth. You can only trick a person who is not honest. You can't trick an honest person. Honest person says, why would I want to do this? I'm satisfied with my life. But a person who's not honest, they're always very, very prone to be tricked. So, by hearing about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, this tricky mind is controlled. In fact, there's a very nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita that we should learn today. In the second chapter, Krishna says, Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Nigritani sarvasa,
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa.
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa.
Second chapter, 68th verse. Tasmat means therefore. Yasya, whose, Mahabaho, or mighty one, talking about Arjuna. And then Nigritani means to control, to curb, down. Sarvasaha means all around, everything. So Tasmat Yasya Mahabaho Nigritani Sarvasaha.
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa.
Tasmat Yasya Mahabaho Nigritani Sarvasaha.
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa.
Indriyan Indriyarte Vyas.
Indriyani indriyasyas,
Indriyan Indriyarte Vyas.
Indriyani indriyasyas,
Tasya Pragya Pratistita.
Tasya pragya pratishtha,
Tasya Pragya Pratistita.
Tasya pragya pratishtha.
Tasmat Yasya Mahabaho
Tasmat yasya mahabaho,
Nigritani Sarvasaha.
Nigritani sarvasa.
Indriyan Indriyarte Vyas.
Indriyani indriyasyas,
Tasya Pragya Pratistita.
Tasya pragya pratishtha.
Tasmat Yasya Mahabaho Nigritani Sarvasaha.
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa.
Indriyan Indriyarte Vyas. Tasya Pragya Pratistita.
Indriyani indriyasyas, Tasya pragya pratishtha.
Tasmat Yasya Mahabaho Nigritani Sarvasaha. Indriyan Indriyarte Vyas. Tasya Pragya Pratistita.
Tasmat yasya mahabaho, Nigritani sarvasa. Indriyani indriyasyas, Tasya pragya pratishtha.
So, this is a very nice verse. It says, therefore, O mighty armed Arjuna, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Let's repeat that. Therefore, O mighty armed,
Therefore, O mighty armed,
one whose senses are restrained from their objects
one whose senses are restrained from their objects
is certainly of steady intelligence.
is certainly of steady intelligence.
Now, don't we want this? Don't we want to have steady intelligence, clear intelligence all the time, so we can always see what's right and what's wrong, and what is Krishna conscious and what is Maya. So here's the secret. Tasmat yasya mahabaho nigritani sarvasa. Indriyani indriyarte vyas tasya pragya pratishtha. One whose senses are restrained from the objects of the senses is certainly of steady intelligence. Now, let's have an example. Like, for example, I was once with a sannyasi in Paris. We were walking down the street and we walked by a French confiserie. Confiserie means a French sweet shop. Now the French sweet shops, I don't know if you've ever been to France, they're gorgeous. Everything looks like a work of art. They have these things called tarts. They have cherries and strawberries and whipped cream. It's just, you know, it's mouth-watering. So the sannyasi stopped me and said, what is this? He said, it's a French sweet shop. So we looked in and saw it. He said, they don't have anything like this in India. I I said, well, they do, but they have their sweets, and these are the French sweets. He said, these look really good. I said, yeah, they look good. So let's go in and have some. I said, no, we can't. You know, they have eggs. He said, who cares? I couldn't believe it. He said, who cares? So, I was shocked. I said, Maharaj, we can't. I mean, they use eggs on almost everything. I said, well, if you don't know, what's the difference? I said, what do you mean we don't know? I know. Anyway, I didn't go. I wouldn't let him go in either. We didn't go in. But you see, it looks so good. Sometimes it looks so, just like there's a birthday cake at a birthday. And it looks really good. And the parents of the child that's having a birthday say, oh, take some, it's good. And you say, are there eggs in it? So, who cares? It's a birthday. You say, who cares? I care. I don't want to violate, the vows of initiation just because it looks good. But if we follow this who cares philosophy, we're in a dangerous position. So here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness, or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Just like in India, every year there's some big scandal. They catch the government people taking bribes. Is this true? You live in India.
Yeah, I know.
Every year.
Yeah.
I think it, huh? What?
Every day.
Every day. Now, the government people, they see other people getting caught. You think they would say, I'm not going to do it. No, they still do it. Even though so many people, in fact, this one, who was that one Muslim guy? Hijaz or Hajira or something? They caught him stealing, like $500 million. He's a businessman. Do you know who that is? He was a Muslim guy in Bombay or something. Huh? You know who he is? $500 million in India, right? It's not in America, it's in India. $500 million. They caught him cheating. So, now, why did they do it? Because it's like a diamond on the head of a cobra. You know the cobra can kill you, right? But you see the diamond. And because of greed, you take a chance of being killed by trying to grab the diamond. Of course, as soon as you grab for the diamond, the cobra bites you, you're dead. But still, people will try. They don't care. So who cares? This is Maya. So here it says, one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness, or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So they should make a requirement for every politician in India. They should first become Krishna Bhakta. Then they won't steal and cheat. They'll be able to curb their mind and senses by engaging them in Krishna's service, so then they'll do the business of the state honestly. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed, not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called sadhaka. Sadhaka, student of spiritual life, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Tasmat yasya mahabaho nigritani sarvasaha indriyani indriyatevyas tasya pragya pratisthita. So tasya means his, pragya, intelligence, pratisthita, fixed. This is the key. His intelligence is fixed. Fixed on what? Fixed on serving Krishna. pleasing Krishna by its service, fixed on Krishna Kata, Krishna Bhakti. So, next time you walk by a French sweet shop, and you look in and it looks really good, and some sannyasi says, "Who cares?" You go, "Tasmat yasya mahabaho nigrahani sarvasaha indriyan indriyartebhyas tasya pragya pratistita." Oh, sorry. Here, take my danda and hit me on the head. So, if you carry this verse with you, you'll be Swami. If you follow this verse, you'll be Goswami. Tasya pragya pratisthita. Fixed intelligence. Intelligence means the power to discern between what is right and what is wrong. When it becomes a little bit cloudy, right? Just like it's a cloudy day, so you don't see the sun very well. So sometimes a fog comes over our brain because of associating too much with materialistic people. Like whenever you buy these magazines at the checkout counter, Safeway. Oh, Kim Kardashian just had a new baby with Kanye West. Now, all these people, I mean, I have to tell the truth, they're all prostitutes. They're all prostitutes, right? And they're being glorified in these magazines. All their illicit activities being glorified. And it's a very shiny magazine. 4-color, 5, 6-color magazine. Not just 4, 6-color magazine. Very shiny, first-class photography. And you look and they're all happy, they're smiling, their teeth are perfect, their face is perfect because they all have plastic surgery. Their teeth are perfect because all the teeth are false teeth. They all have false breasts. Everything is false. But it looks good. See, this look good is the danger zone. Just like Surpanaka looked good when she first came. She looked like an apsari. She was very beautiful. But when she tried to attack Sita, she changed back to her Rakshasa form. And then Lakshman cut off her nose. That's the real Surpanaka. So the same thing with all these movie stars. They look like demons, but they put so much makeup on, plastic surgery, when they go out in nice clothes. When they go out in the public, they look good. If you see them off stage with no makeup on, they look like demons, like Surpanaka. It's the danger. So the danger zone is when you're attracted to something like this. Tasmat yasya mahabha nigrihani sarvasa indriyan indriyartebhyas tasya pragya pratisthita. Fixed in intelligence. You should say, what is this nonsense? I'm not attracted to it at all. It's all stool. I reject this. I want to hear Krishna Katha. I want to chant Hare Krishna. I want to associate with good devotees. Not devotees that say, who cares? No, we care. I want to be always engaged in Krishna's service because Prabhupada says one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, Krishna, 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 hey! Krishna, 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 hey! Krishna, 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 Rakshamam! Krishna, 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 Pahimam! Pahimam, what does Pahimam mean? Protect me, right? This is the meaning of chanting Hare Krishna, of being with Krishna always. Because Krishna will Pahimam, he'll protect you.
So we are already serving there, downstairs.
If you're hungry, go downstairs. We're going to be finished. Okay, so today we studied 2 verses. This Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, verse 44, and which basically says, Krishna, your transcendental activities are so powerful that if one engages in hearing and chanting of such topics, he can be delivered from all illusion. So let's repeat this. O Krishna, your transcendental activities are so powerful. That if one engages in hearing and chanting of such topics, he can be delivered from illusion. He or she can be delivered from illusion. And therefore, O Arjuna, one whose senses are restrained from the objects, one whose senses are restrained from their objects, is certainly of steady intelligence. We have two verses today. Very good verses.
So that second one, Prabhu. So we need intelligence to restrain the senses. We need to restrain our senses to get the intelligence. So
Perfect. You've understood the lesson.
So
And you restrain them how? That's the third thing. How do you restrain them? Excellent.
just by concentrating our senses on glorifying that pleasing Krishna.
Exactly. That's why those two verses are here. I was afraid you were going to say by drinking beer.
It's like a chicken and egg problem. I mean,
Chicken and egg? Where did the chicken come from? We don't eat chicken. Keep the murgi out.
which comes first?
Which came first? You want to know the answer? Okay. How many years have we been debating this question? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? How many years?
Since I was born. I mean,
Okay,
even
since
before.
you were born. Way before that. The answer is Krishna. Sarva Karana Karana. Krishna is the origin of everything. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? Krishna came first. Question answered. Okay. Any other questions? World-shattering questions that have never been answered before in history? Okay.
Yesterday we saw the young kid, they were drinking gold box of
Beer? Where?
Two box near the
Apna Bazaar. Did they buy the beer in Apna Bazaar?
How they can digest that?
Yes, Apana Bazar
Apna Bazaar sells beer.
No,
Liquor,
no,
liquor.
friend man, they got from friend box. Old box they drank.
How old were they?
They have
Like 18, 19 maybe. They were very young.
You know what happens when you drink for, let's say, just 4 years? 4 years. See, drinking is different than smoking. Smoking, you need 40 years to kill yourself. Drinking, 4 years is enough to kill you. So, what happens if you're drinking all the time? Then your nose turns into a cabbage. Not a cabbage, a cauliflower. You know, the cauliflower is like this. You drink regularly, your nose turns into a cauliflower. You get blood vessels that break in your cheek and your face. You don't feel right unless you drink. In other words, before they were drinking to feel happy. After 4 years of drinking, you drink just to feel normal, not happy, just to feel normal. It's total self-destruction. It only takes 4 years, constant drinking.
Well, beer like alcohol, something.
Yeah, different degrees of alcohol. Beer is like 20%, 25%. Huh? Oh, okay. How do you know?
Many of my friends, they used to encourage me like, oh, why don't you taste once?
This is in India, right?
Yeah.
What happened to Bharat? What has happened to Bharat? In India, and what happened? Because your father, you never drank?
I mean,
And mother?
my family didn't think that's it.
No, because you wanted to remember their instructions. Did you drink? Yes.
No, I didn't.
Okay, why? Let's ask that question.
I thought it's bad to drink just for enjoyment. Before even coming to spirituality, I just thought it's a bad practice.
Did you ever see your father and mother drink? So obviously you were trained in the house, right? So when you have children, what example are you going to give them? Krishna consciousness. If you're Krishna conscious and you're happy, now in other words, it's possible to try and be Krishna conscious and be unhappy. I know a lot of people like that. They say, I'm not happy. Oh, look at that person. Oh, did you see what they said? Oh, this person did this. Oh, that person did that. See, they're not really chanting Hare Krishna. They're just looking at other people and gossiping. So those people, they're not happy. But other people chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They're happy, peaceful. They don't need to drink. They don't need to eat this or that. They're very peaceful, and they're happy. Now, what happens? Their kids also become happy because mommy and daddy are happy, and they know they're happy because they chant Hare Krishna and they love Krishna. So, the best thing in the world is to become Krishna conscious. Then you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an Indian chief, whatever you want to be. It doesn't matter. But if you are genuinely Krishna conscious and you're happy, you live a very peaceful life. And your tasya pragya pratisthita, your intelligence will always be fixed. No one can shake it. Just like your intelligence was fixed not to drink with your friends, even though they're pressuring you. Right? Now that's going to happen to your kids. Your kids are going to go to school here if you don't send them to Synergy.
Very well.
They're going to be pressured to do these, just like you were pressured. Right? This is what's happening to kids today, all over the world, not just in America, in India, everywhere you go. They're being pressured to be adharmic. Now, unless they have a strong family environment, Krishna consciousness, they're going to easily be broken down. And once they start, it's very difficult to stop.
So once I was going in Hyderabad, so we went to somebody's home and we were coming back late in the night, maybe 10:30. All the shops were closed and all the liquor shops were open. And everywhere you will see 4 or 5 motorbikes in front of the shop, and people are buying, drinking there, because in India you can drink anywhere, there are no rules. You can drink in the public too.
Really?
And every street corner, I don't know.
There's no rule, but they break the rule.
I think there is a rule is there. Maybe 50 years back you went there that time. Now they're very strict.
I went last year.
So I don't know about
Last
Hyderabad,
March,
Mumbai, I don't know.
Hyderabad, everywhere.
Prabhu, India, they have all the rules. Nobody follows them.
Yeah.
Don't say there's no rules. Nobody follows it.
So everywhere, every street corner there is a liquor shop. Everywhere there are motorbikes and people.
30 years ago, there was a liquor shop in every street.
Probably not.
This only came up recently. It was 20, 30 years. Before that, it
Last 10 years, I would say.
it's a great tragedy. But what is your only protection? Krishna consciousness, the only protection. The only way you can control the senses, the force of the senses. There's no other way. You can try other ways. They don't work. They'll work for some time, they'll break down. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes.
In day-to-day dealings, there's a tendency in me to become harsh towards family members. Sometimes you are frustrated. I mean, sometimes you are stressed.
I'm going to warn you right now. If you ever harsh to your wife, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. You got that message, right? I'm going to come with a stick and beat you.
I mean, harsh in the sense like sometimes you're stressed out in work and you try to.
Why would you bring the stress of your work to your house?
I mean, that's such an
You leave it there. Before you leave, you chant one round. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Wife was soft, I give you back this. And you come home free. Huh? Amazon, I give you. Bezos. Okay, don't bring your stress back home. That's crazy. Why would you want to do that? That means you're not Krishna conscious. You're stress conscious. You leave your stress at work. You can get it next day. It's waiting for you. You don't have to bring it home. It's waiting for you.
Actually, what happens is some of the colleagues who are very stressed, they try to talk that stress language, right? So you just don't listen. This is what I have been practicing. They say, no, we have to do this. Who said we have to do this? Who said we have to do this? Just leave it there.
Leave it there. You have to learn. Okay, here's the secret. You buy 2 hats. One hat is stress hat. So when you go to work, you put the stress hat. But when you're coming home, you take the stress hat on, you put Krishna conscious hat on. You can get a baseball hat, Krishna consciousness, and you get another one, stress. Right? Sometimes we need a physical reminder. If it's subtle, then we can't make the difference. You can get 2 everyone wears baseball hats. Right? You get 1 baseball hat, Krishna conscious, and 1 baseball hat, stress, or I'm stressed out. Okay? But if you don't, you know I'm going to come with a stick. I know where you are now. Okay, Haribo. So now we'll have our fire yoga. So where is our Pandit? What? You want to beat it? Why you want to beat it? What, are you crazy? You want to beat it? No more beatings, just beatings.
Sometimes it's so bad that when you have to think of what
You want just Krishna consciousness. Now we'll chant Ramasamhita and Dwar. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Pranadiradir Govinda Sarvakarankarana
Going down.
Chintamani Prakasatva Sukatva Vriksha Lakshavriteshu Suravira Vivalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venu Vanandamarinda Dharaya Kaksham Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandra Kalasarvanamaya Vamshi Ratnangadam Pranayakeri Kalavilasam Shyamam Dimantalitam Niyatam Prashasam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ankani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Satujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purani Purusham Navayavanam Cha Vedeshu Dulabam Durlabam Mahabhavato Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Satavaksara Sampragamyo Vayoratami Manaso Muni Pungamanam Sovyasya Paradasidhyam Chintatate Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Napkin.
Yachakti Jagatanga Chayaya Danta Anandarasta Paramanu Chayandarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yadbhavavavita Viyo Manjasta Kaiva Sampravya Rupa Mahima Shanayana Bhusha Sukteya Meva Nidama Pratyaya Sumanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Sattvadhyavikavis Tayeya Eva Nijarupa Tayakalavi Goloka Eva Nivasarvayagata Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjanam Surita Bhakti Vilocanena Santa Sadaiva Gureveshu Viloka श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिसुतराणि अनेन तिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोतु वनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत् परमात्मान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्य प्रभावतो जगन्नाथकोटि कोटिष्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि माया हि यस्य जगदन्तसदानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदविधायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बितरसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसामृतरामनसु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलान् स्मरानुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकनाम्नि जगामि तले च तस्य देवी महेश हरिकामसुरेषु एते प्रभावविजया येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयस्थानशक्तिरेक चायैव यस्य भुवनानि विभाति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टैषा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रियं यदा विशेषयोग सञ्जायते न यदा तदा श्रीदेवो यत्सम्भूतमभिनता कार्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपाचिरेव शान्तमप्युपेत्या दीपायते विगतये समानधर्मा यस्ताद्वयेन विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि जगत्कारणनामचैव तस्य योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदन्तसर्वमूला आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परं स्वभूतिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्यैकविश्वसितफलमपलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविदरा जगदन्तनाथा विष्णुर्महान् सैन्यस्य कालविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि भास्वान्यदास्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा श्रियं कियत् प्रत्ययत्नमतत्वतः ब्रह्मायैष जगन्निलज्ञानकरः गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिनाय कुम्भा वन्दे प्रणामसमये सखनाधिराजा विघ्नान्विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मही गगनममुमरुद्दिशश्च कालस्तदात्ममनसि जगत्त्रयाणि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यश्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलाग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्ति अशेषतेजा यस्याज्ञानमसंसृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोत्पापनिचयासुरयस्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीर्तप्रतापतयस्तजीव यद्दत्तमात्रविभवप्रकटप्रभाव गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहजाप्रणयादिनीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावै सञ्चित्तितस्य सञ्चितममुदे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि कथागानं नाट्यं Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha, Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha, Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha, Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Please repeat after me. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Om Trivikramaya Namaha. Om Trivikramaya Namaha. Om Vamanaya Namaha. Om Vamanaya Namaha. Om Shridaraya Namaha. Om Shridaraya Namaha. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Padmanabhaya Namaha. Om Padmanabhaya Namaha. Om Damodaraya Namaha. Om Damodaraya Namaha. Om Sankarshanaya Namaha. Om Sankarshanaya Namaha. Om Pradumnaya Namaha. Om Pradumnaya Namaha. Om Anirudaya Namaha. Om Anirudaya Namaha. Om Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Advoksajaya Namaha. Om Advoksajaya Namaha. Om Nrsinghaya Namaha. Om Nrsinghaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Janardanaya Namaha. Om Janardanaya Namaha. Om Upendraya Namaha. Om Upendraya Namaha. Om Hariye Namaha. Om Hariye Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sadavasyam Tishulayva Diviva Chakshuratatam Tat Vipashna Vipandivos Jagumam Sasabindante Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. Today is June 30th, 2013. We are in the city of Sammamish, Washington State, in the United States, in the Western Hemisphere. And we're gathered in the home of the Bart and Vinny last week, Chotani. And we're performing the welcoming ceremony for Gaura Nitai.
Okay, open that one.
I pray.
Good.
I pray to Radha and Krishna.
I pray to Radha and Krishna.
Stand up. Gaura Nitai.
Go.
To protect everyone here
Protect everyone here
from
from
anxiety, fear, doubt. Develop the certitude that Krishna and His holy name are non-different, so that they can chant without any obstacles the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have a private wish for my father. I pray to Radha and Krishna to protect Parth, Vidhi, and their families, and everyone here to be free of any sins committed consciously or unconsciously in this life or any previous life. And may everyone be blessed by Radha and Krishna and the Vaishnava Acharyas to have a natural attraction to engaging in Krishna's service, chanting His holy names, and hearing His nectarian pastimes. Lord Pramanandi. Did we do Achman?
Yes, everybody.
Aham chaturaham yajya aham swadaham aham ushadam
नहीं चल रहा है
mantraham aham vajyam aham adirham Om Swastino Govindo Swastino Chitananto Swastino Vasudevo Vishnu Dadatu Swastino Narayano Narovai Swastina Padmanabhaha Vishnamo Dadatu Swastino Vishwakseno Vishvesparaha Swastino Rishikesho Hamir Dadatu Swastino Vainateyo Hamir Swastino Anjana Sito Hamir Bhagavato Dadatu Swasti Swasti Sumangala Yesho Mahadev Vishnu Sanchitananda Ganaha Sarvesvarishvaro Dadatu Om Prabhu Aniruddha Ashuva Yajnam Kasuva Yajnapratim Vagaya Patasarva Bhutasna Gita Pukitam Na Punatu Vakisha Vacham Na Swadatu Om Gur Swaha Idam Vishnave Idam Namama Om Bhuva Swaha Idam Achyutai Idam Namama Om Swa Swaha Idam Narayana Idam Namama Om Bhur Bhuva Swa Swaha Swaha Idam Anantaya Idam Namama Om Aginyat Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha 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 Chaitanya Manudishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayambhuyagramayam Dadati Swapadantikam Swaha 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 Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Madhapakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhanaranatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Swaha 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 Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Swaha 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 Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Swaha 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 Shri Varsavanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Swaha 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 Madhurkujvaya Primanya Shri Rupanubhavakya Shri Gaurakaruna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Swaha 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 Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Niladharine Vanuva Vinudapasitam Tadvantaharine Swaha 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 Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshavadya Murtaye Vipradamba Prasambodhe Padamuddhayane Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Bhupanugavarayate Swaha 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 Vishvam Nirteshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Swaha 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 Panchakalpatarabhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Mahavatanyaya Krishna Premapradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurasakse Namaha Swaha 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 Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jaya Sandhu Panchatatvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami
Unplug that flex. Unplug there.
Swaha Swaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha 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 Chaitanya
They're coming? Okay, leave it. Unplug these two.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha
It's okay.
Samskriti samskriti manam sampayam yaham swaha 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 om punam ada punam idam punam mudachyate punasya punamadaya punamevasishyate swaha 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 om adhyena supatara yasman vishwati devayunati vivan yurajman shurana meno krishnam tindama Vedima Om Tat Sat Swaha Swaha Swaha. Please repeat, Oh my Lord.
Oh my Lord.
You are more powerful than fire.
You are more powerful than fire.
You are omnipotent.
You are omnipotent.
Now I offer you all obeisances.
Now I offer you all obeisances.
Fall on the ground at your lordship.
Fall on the ground at your lordship.
Oh my dear Lord. Please lead me on the right path.
Please lead me on the right path.
To reach you.
To reach you.
And since you know
all
that I have done in the past, please free me. From the reaction. Of my past sins. So that there will be. No hindrance. To my progress.
Back to you.
Om Swaha. Swaha. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Swaha. 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 Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Swaha. 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Swaha. 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 Please repeat. Om Namo Brahmani Devaya.
Om Namo Brahmani Devaya.
Om Brahmana Hitaya Cha.
Om Brahmana Hitaya Cha.
Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya.
Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya.